going on, guys? It's Steve. So Dwayne Wade and LeBron James just had another pretty epic duel. Now it's kind of bittersweet. It's not as good as in terms of what they did on the court. LeBron had 27 and 13. D Wade had like 24, I think 8 and 6. It wasn't like it was back in 08, 09 or 06, 07. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. But it was bittersweet, and it felt good to see because we know that that's probably one of the last times we're going to see them ever face up against each other. I predict that Dwayne Wade will probably retire within the next 2 to 3 years. So their matchups are very limited. They probably have less than 10 more meetings together. Probably less than that. So it was bittersweet to see. Cleveland came up with the win. I think the score was 111 to 106. It was a great game. Jimmy Butler did his thing. All the Chicago Big Three did their thing. Rondo did his thing. I think he had 15 maybe. D Wade did his thing. He had 24. Butler did his thing. He had 26, 8 and 6. So this team, they did their stuff, man. But Cleveland, they're just that good. And it's starting to make me think. It's starting to make me think that maybe it's a good thing that this era is coming to an end. Because, yes, it was the greatest era thus far in NBA history, but there'll probably be a greater era. Because it's the same way with how LeBron is better than Jordan. Same thing like that. There's always going to be someone that comes around. There's probably going to be someone in the next 15, maybe 10 to 15 years that's going to be better than LeBron. And he'll go down as the GOAT. You never know. So it started to make me think, like, this new era that's coming up, and that's, really taking the reins from, the 03 draft era, which is pretty much almost over, which is crazy because Chris Bosh is pretty much done. Carmelo Anthony, he's still doing his thing, but he's clearly not as good as he used to be. He's still top 15, top 10, but he's not as good as he used to be. Dwayne Wade is still doing his thing, especially in the playoffs, but it's clear he's been out of his prime for like the last 4 or 5 years. LeBron is still the best player in the world. So they're slowly, as a whole, declining in terms of handing the torch over to the younger generation. So this is a good thing because now we have players like Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, DeMarcus Cousins, James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Damian Lillard, Isaiah Thomas, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie, Kawhi, Kemba, Antetokounmpo, Andrew Wiggins, John Wall, Karl Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis, Gordon Hayward, CJ McCollum. Kevin Love is even doing his thing. Blake Griffin, Kristaps Porzingis, Kyle Lowry. So this team, not this team. These players, they're all doing their thing, and I literally think that there are 29 players as of right now, as of 10:25 a.m. on December 3rd. There are 29 players averaging over 20 points per game. By the way, my man Brook Lopez is still doing his thing, like I said. But yeah, so that's crazy, and that's a good thing because I'm ready for the future. I'm ready for the future. I'm excited for the future. And the reason why I'm excited for the future is because, to be honest, Carmelo Anthony, he probably won't win an NBA championship. Dwayne Wade probably won't ever win again. Chris Bosh probably won't win it ever again in terms of championships. LeBron James, he probably will, but probably only for the next year or two. Maybe 3, who knows. And then that's it, man. It's going to go down to Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant being the leaders of the NBA. LeBron's going to have to hand that torch over soon, which is crazy because even LeBron James brought this up. But I'm excited. I'm excited because it's sort of going towards a big man league again, which is crazy. There's always like a rotation. And we had a guard and forward league for a long time. For almost 20 years, we had a guard and a forward league, from around 96 to 2016. There's a guard and a small forward league. Just think about it. We had your T-Macs, you had your Kobe's, you had your D-Wades, you had your LeBrons, you had your Tim Duncans, you had your Kevin Garnett's, you had your Carmelo Anthony's. The list can go on. You had your Chris Bosh's, and the list can continue to go on. I'm not going to go on forever, but, so now when I see Anthony Davis averaging 31.5 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, and I see DeMarcus Cousins averaging 29 on 46% shooting, it's crazy. And then I see Kevin Love doing his thing, Karl Anthony Towns is doing his thing, Kristaps Porzingis is doing his thing, and the crazy thing is, there are some really good point guards as well. So it looks like it probably won't even be just a big man's league. It'll be in everybody's league. Every position will dominate. Because usually, for a long time, it's going to be one position. You know, it's weird that it's like that in NBA history, that it's been like that. But now it's probably going to be every position that's going to be dominant. Just think about it. We have Jimmy Butler. We have Isaiah Thomas. We have Curry, KD, Dame Lillard, DeMar DeRozan, James Harden, DeMarcus Cousins, Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie, Kawhi, Kemba, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Andrew Wiggins, John Wall, Karl Anthony Towns, CJ McCollum, Gordon Hayward, and the list can literally go on. And Bradley Beal, who's averaging 22, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin, Kristaps Porzingis, Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson, even Harrison Barnes is averaging over 20. This is ridiculous. Harrison Barnes is averaging over 20 points. The dude that everyone got on because he did so bad in the finals. Brook Lopez is averaging 20. Zach LaVine is averaging 20. It's really 19.9, but it's close to 20. So actually, technically, it's 19.9, which is why I said there are 29 players. But if you want to include him, then there's 30 players averaging over 20, because 19.9 is pretty much 20, which is crazy. And then you have Rudy Gay, who's obviously a little older now, but still, you know, it's crazy. And then you even have even more young players in Devin Booker, Eric Bledsoe, Jabari Parker. You know, like this is crazy. This is crazy, and it's good. Gordon Hayward is doing his thing. Goran Dragic, this is a good thing, and I'm excited for the future of the NBA. It's going to be extremely exciting. I cannot wait to see. The thing about it is we never know who's going to take the reins. Just think about it. When Kobe, AI, Timmy, Ray Allen, and all those other guys, KG, Paul Pierce, all these other guys came into the league in the late 90s, no one really knew who was going to take the reins of the league, because at that moment, it was still sort of Jordan's league, but he was like taking that last step, right? And then it rotated to, okay, this is Shaq's league. And then it went to Tim Duncan, right? And then it went to Kobe for like almost a decade, you know? And then it went to Dwyane Wade, and then it went to LeBron, you know? But the thing is you don't know, because when the 03 draft happened, no one knew if it was going to be Carmelo or LeBron. No one expected Dwyane Wade to be as good as he was. And that's the truth. People expected him, okay, he'll make an all-star team two times. This dude is an all-time great, top 20, easily. I personally think he's higher than that, but I'll leave it out the picture. You know? So that's crazy. And then no one expected Chris Bosh to be what he was. This dude is another all-time great. 2-time champion, 10-plus time all-star. One of the best big men in NBA history. Top 25 big man ever. That's crazy. No one expected that. Everyone only expected, which is crazy, because if everyone expected this, why the hell did Detroit? I'm still my sodium level is high right now, because Detroit kind of pisses me off thinking about this, because they ruined Carmelo's legacy. But no one knew, on a serious note, no one knew, honestly, whether it was going to be LeBron or Carmelo, because LeBron had so much hype in high school. And then when St. Vincent St. Mary played Oak Hill Academy, Carmelo absolutely took a doo-doo on LeBron. He crapped on LeBron and destroyed him, right? And people were like, okay, maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, because Carmelo just proved that he was better. You know, and then when Melo won that title in Syracuse for the NCAA, and then no one knew, okay, is it going to be LeBron or is it going to be Carmelo? Right? No one knew that. And then even now, like, no one expected Stephen Curry to do what he was doing, to do what he's doing now when they drafted him. Everyone was writing him off, you know? So now it could be crazy, because who knows? It could be Gordon Hayward 5 years from now that's the best player in the world. It could be even Eric Bledsoe or Devin Booker. It's weird because we don't know. You know, even Hassan Whiteside is doing this thing. I think he's averaging like 17 and 10. My honest opinion, though, it's either going to be Karl Anthony Towns or Kristaps Porzingis. But again, we don't know. It could be anyone. Heck, it could be Kawhi Leonard doing his thing, you know? So, who knows, man? Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The future of the NBA is bright, and I'm excited for it. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know. I'm out. Peace. Hey.